Hello Billy, back at it again with another video, and today we are doing a Life is Strange Chapter 1 overview. Charlie has just beat Chapter 1 in Life is Strange just yesterday, so I'm so excited to explain what I'm gonna do for these videos, and in this episode I'm gonna explain my first thoughts of Life is Strange, my other thoughts, and a chapter overview, and what's going on in this game, because it's confusing already after Chapter 1, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so the main story, and if you didn't know, I know I'm reading this off a thing, but the story of the game takes place in the fictional town of Arcadia Bay, Oregon. Oregon is such a weird state, but Max Caulfield returns after a 5-year absence from her high school boarding school kind of thing. So I never knew it was a high school. I thought it was a college, but apparently it was a high school. And when I first got into the game, I didn't know anything about the story. So when I went and read back again, it was really weird. But yeah, she comes back and reunites with her friend Chloe Price, and you hang out with her pretty much through the whole game. Lots of things happen, and Life is Strange pretty much through the whole game. So we're gonna get straight into my first thoughts, because why not? Okay, so my first thoughts and everything before. So my friend Ian, he's on the channel, he told me about this Life is Strange game like a million times. So he was like, oh, you should get this game. And yeah, but he wasn't like, oh dude, you have to get this game. He was just like, I'm like, what are some good games? He's like, Silent Hill 3, Life is Strange, like the Batman games. And I'm like, and you know, like the games that he likes, I don't really like that much. But Life is Strange is just one that everyone likes, and it's just a fun game, has the best storyline game. And hopefully you watch Charlie's walkthrough or playthrough, because his commentary is so great, and I think it's his best commentary in like any game that he did. Honestly, I watched some of The Walking Dead, but Life is Strange just kicks it. But anyways, yeah, when I first started, I was like, since Chapter 1 was free in Life is Strange, I was like, I guess I will play it. I don't know what that sound was, but in Chapter 1 I was like, okay, I'll guess I will play it and see how it is. So I played the first chapter, and I'm like, this game is like really good, because the storyline and everything that happened, I'm going to talk about it. It's like, it's really good. So I went on Steam, and then I seen like each chapter was like $25, but then there was like on some other thing, there was all the chapters for $20, like 20 freaking dollars. Like, you cannot beat that. Like $25 or something like that, you just can't beat that. So I was like, okay, I'll buy that right now. So I obviously beat it, and then to this day I beat the game twice. But we're not going to talk about everything about the game. We're just going to talk about Chapter 1, and we're finally going to get into it. But guys, if I suggest, you have to play this game. When I tell my friends, I say, you have to play this game, because it's the only game I will ever tell you to play. Because people tell me about stuff all the time, and you know, like, to be honest, like, most of the time it's not like, you know, to be honest, it's like, oh, okay, it's just like a game. That's pretty cool. But this game changes people's lives, changes your thoughts, and it just destroys you in your feelings. Like, it just freaking destroys you. I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait to watch Charlie play this, do the whole thing. So let's talk about Chapter 1 and an overview and what's going to happen and what happened and everything about it. I just cannot believe it. Chapter 1 starts, and mind blown. You're in a storm, and okay, so I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm not going to talk about everything. I'm just going to do what I feel like talking about. I have a list of things I have, because I can't think through the whole first chapter myself, but we're just going to do the best I can. So first on my list is that you wake up in a storm, and this is the first time you enter the game in a storm, and then you're like, what the F is this? And you just wake up in the storm as some girl. You walk up the hill, and there's a tornado happening. So you walk up the hill. I think the light tower house falls, so it falls, and then you walk by it, and then boom, you wake up and you're in class, and you're just looking around like, what the heck was that? I guess it was a dream, but it felt so real. So yeah, obviously that happened. So you wake up in class, the teacher tells you about everything, and then after that, I think, yeah, you go up to Mr. Jefferson, which is the teacher. You go up to him, and you talk to him about your picture of the Everyday Heroes contest. You do all that bull crap. You meet the characters really fast, and I really think it's an overboard of characters, because like, you're meeting these characters, and you're like, oh, what should I pay attention to? And you're like, there's so much stuff happening at once. Like, you meet Victoria, then like you meet like your best friend in this first chapter, and then you meet your old best friend, and then you meet like Kate and so many other people. Like, who's important? Like, everyone in the hallways after you come out, everyone's in the hallways, and you're like, who's important, who's not? So after you go that, you walk out of class, you put your headphones in, the intro starts happening in chapter 1, and it's funny because the company name shows up, it says don't nod, it's pretty much that, and then she nods for a second, and it's really funny. So yeah, so since she's feeling really weird about the storm, she goes walk down the hallway. You can see this poster about this missing girl. You can talk to everyone if you want, but it's really not that important. But you can if you want, which is, you get more immersed in the storyline. So you can talk to all these people. You go to the bathroom. Yeah, after you're done all that, you go to the bathroom, and she puts water on her face. She rips her photo for the Everyday Heroes contest. Oh well. And then she sees a blue butterfly go over, and she's like, this is a photo op, I gotta take it. So she walks over behind the bathroom stalls over here, and she takes a picture. So after she takes the picture, she goes over, you know, the blue butterfly, and then some boy busts through the boys' bathroom, and he starts freaking out about his life and everything that's happening. So you're hiding, and he's over here, okay? So he's freaking about everything. You have no clue what's going on in this. The whole chapter is like mind-blowing what the F is going on, but it comes together really quickly once you go down the line. So he comes in, and then a blue hair girl comes in, and you meet this girl later anyways, like I'm just gonna tell you, but eventually this is your best friend Chloe, but you don't know this yet. And the first time, I'll explain later, but anyways, she comes in, and they get in a fight. You don't know why they're getting in a fight, but he shoots her, and you're just sitting there like, what? So you put your arm up, and boom, the first thing happens where you can learn to rewind time, and boom, everything goes crazy, and then you're sitting right back in class at the exact moment, in the exact spot, same events happen, and you're like, whoa, what the F is this? So it's really crazy on how this happens, and you just don't know, like, is this about the game, or is this just one part of the game? So, you know, if you figure out you can rewind time and all that stuff like that. So, yep. So she goes back to the bathroom, you know, she's in class, she's like, oh, the same, if she does, I forget, I think if like Victoria does this exact same thing, then I can rewind time. So you figure out that you can rewind time, you go out of class at the exact same time, and then you go back to the bathroom, do the same exact things, which I don't know why she had to do the exact same steps, but you know, it's just, why not do the exact same steps? She could have just walked in the bathroom and hid, but she did that. She ripped a photo, she went back in the thing, and then the same thing happens where he comes in, freaks out, the girl comes in, they both fight. Before he shoots her, which is more than just doing something else to fight, but you gotta like find his hammer, so you gotta move the thing, and then boom, like you hear the shot, but you can rewind time. So you go back, and then you get the hammer, you hit the fire alarm, you ding the fire alarm, and then they all run out. So you pretty much saved their life. You saved their life, and the game continues. You walk out, and you get approached by this janitor or this security guard. Later, it's Mr. David Madsen, I think. So you find out about him later, so it doesn't really matter. And then you go up to the principal, and he's asking you all these questions, and you're like, the biggest decision is like, should I tell him or should I not tell him about what just happened? So, you know, that decision can really impact you in the middle of like chapter 3 and 4, I think. I'm not sure exactly, but it impacts you later on. And a bunch of stuff happens, so you go outside, and then I think like, I didn't really write this down because it wasn't important, but I think you just walk around your dorm, and your best friend Warren texts you, so you have to get his USB drive. You go up to your dorms, and just like a bunch of like, it's not pointless stuff, but it's not really that important, so I'm not really going to talk about it, because I'll be sitting here forever if I talk about everything. So like, you know, you walk outside, and that's pretty much it. So later, yeah, like I said, he meets Warren, and then you give Warren your USB back, and it's funny because when you walk up to Warren, Warren's like, oh, can I, like, he didn't say, he's like, can I have a hug, like this, like movement, but she's like, oh, here's your USB drive, and then they talk for a bunch of stuff, and then you can find out, or yeah, Warren likes her obviously because you can see in the storyline, so you can see of what he does and stuff. Like he wants to go to the movies with her and stuff like that. So you go, you talk to him. I know I need to continue, but I'm just trying to put it in order so I won't jump. So after he comes over, Nathan, the guy in the bathroom, he comes over to you and he pushes. Yeah, he talks to you, and then you get in a fight. Max, the main character, if I didn't say that, obviously, who doesn't? But Max and Nathan gets in a fight, and then boom, a bunch of stuff is happening. He's like, "Oh, why did you take a picture in the room, locker, or the bathroom, or whatever?" So he finds out it's her because I think if he tells the principal, he calls him to the principal's office. But I'm not really sure. But yeah, at the time, he comes over to you. He pushes at you, and then Warren tries to stand up for you, but he pushes him down, and he tries to choke you, and then all of a sudden, this truck comes, boom, flying. Max falls back on the truck, and then she gets up, and then she's like, "Chloe," and then Chloe's like, "Max," and then boom, everything's going on at once. Max gets in Chloe's car, and Warren takes a beating for you, and the storyline continues, which is crazy because you owe Warren big time because he just got the living crap beat out of him. He has like a black eye and stuff like that. So you walk, and at this point you're like, this is so weird because I know like everyone else noticed this, like the blue hair girl, like I know, but I'm just dumb, I guess, and didn't notice that it was her because like I didn't know that was important. Like the time I don't know, it was such a weird thing. So I'm like, was that important? But I didn't really look at the characters themselves. So it was really weird because when you're like Max and Chloe, and you're like who's this girl? And then like you go, and then yeah, I know this story is crazy. My talking is so weird. But Chloe picks you up. You drive away from that huge. The security guard comes, and they figure that out. But then as you're driving, you're in Chloe's car. You talk about stuff, and then you talk about why Max came back. And like I'm sitting here like, was she my best friend? I guess. Because if she was in Seattle, Max moved to Seattle for 5 years, and you're like, was that my best friend, or like what's going on right now? So you don't really know right now. So eventually you figure out that was my best friend, and all this stuff happens. But it was just really confusing at that point. So that was like, it's really shaky, but I guess you could figure that out pretty easily. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So you go to her house, I think. Yeah, you go to her house, a bunch of stuff happens, like your camera broke and you had to fix it, and you had to go in the basement, get the tools, and all this stuff that's pointless, completely pointless, honestly. And then eventually you find a CD that you have to play music on, but you find a picture of this one girl. She has like a blue feather earring, I think. Yeah, and it's a picture of her and this girl, Rachel, which you found the posters in the hallway of said missing girl. So Max and Chloe talk about, who's this missing girl, and she's like, Rachel, and that was my best friend, and like after you left, that she came and saved me, like saved my life pretty much. And then all of a sudden Rachel disappeared. So what do you think, like what do you think happened to Rachel? Leave that in the comments, because at this point anything can happen, because it doesn't say anything about the chapter. It just kind of ends like after you two talk about Rachel. So you go in her room, and let me try to think about this real quick. So like you go in her room, then you get in trouble for like weed. You find out about Rachel's missing, and then about the weed part, it's like, it's pointless stuff. So the second big decision is stick up for Chloe and say it's like her Max's weed, or just blame it on Chloe, or hide. So all that stuff happens. It doesn't really have a big effect. So you leave, you go to the I'm trying to think where you go. I think you just go outside, and then you have, I don't know, this is so weird right now, it's so confusing. I didn't really watch, I forget the middle part, but anyways, like stuff happens, and then you walk up the exact same path where the tornado happened, and you were sitting there, and then Chloe and Max have a good time, and then they talk, and then Max gets a flashback again, and she falls, and she gets a flashback about the storm, and then she wakes up, and then Chloe's like, "Are you okay, Max?" And like Chloe's all confused, and Max is like, "That was real, this is coming," because in the flashback you see a newspaper, it says Friday, so that's 4 days away. So is a tornado going to hit the storm, or is it not going to hit the storm? So that happens. Chloe like wakes you up, or you come out of the thing. Storm flashback, and that's pretty much ends the chapter. And Chloe's like, tell me everything that happened. And you know, in the next chapter, you hang out with her through the whole chapter, and she tells you about your rewind power, I guess. So that's pretty much it with the chapter. Chapter 1 was a little bit slow. It was confusing, but it really like picks up and it really gets exciting super fast. So I'm really excited to play that. But chapter 1 was a little weird. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video of chapter 1 overview. I'm going to do chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5 in final thoughts probably, because I love this game and I'm going to be playing this game for the third time over this December break. And I'm so excited to play it, because who doesn't want some Life is Strange? If you see my backgrounds, they're Life is Strange. Like, everything is Life is Strange now, because the story of that game was so good. And it's just so good, I can't wait to talk about it. I know I keep saying stuff, but guys, hopefully I did a good job on the chapter 1 overview. I tried my best to try to get the good, important plots. But if you haven't seen it, go watch part 1 through 4 of Life is Strange chapter 1 by Charlie, because it is amazing. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you go watch all other videos and more Life is Strange coming up soon. Building out.
Hey guys, hope you really liked that video. And if you did, please
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
You should also check out our Twitter,
Facebook,
and Tumblr.
See you again soon.